So there's just a few things. It's a simple process. College football needs a commissioner, and if it's one of the four guys now, if it's the guy at SEC commissioner, I don't care. We need a commissioner, and then we need the Power Four or Power Five, if we go back to it. Those commissioners are under them, and then we need a football oversight rules committee that's going to enforce whatever rules that we say there are, whether that is recruiting, NIL, salary cap, employment agreements, transfers, whatever those rules are. And they need to follow the NFL model. The NFL has been an ultra successful money-making machine over 50 years. And the reason why is because they have equality amongst the troops. So they have, 32 teams? They have salary caps, they have free agency, they have all the things that are in place to create equal, which allows the last place team to have the first draft and the Super Bowl champion to have the last draft. So they continue to have equal teams. So you might have a team in the NFL that wins 4 games, and the next year, if they get a good free agency trade, which is the portal we have, or they pick up a high round pick, they might win 10 games next year and make the playoffs. So people turn TVs on and they continue to watch it now all the time. That's what has to happen in college football. In my opinion, it's going to be driven by the commissioner of the SEC and the Big Ten, because they have the most money right now based on long-term television contracts. But that money's not going to matter if everything becomes one-dimensional, one-sided. If we get a bunch of teams that have all this money, and then we have the other 30 teams that have a moderate amount of money, then how many people on the West Coast and the East Coast who don't have teams playing in the playoffs anymore, and it's all the teams from the same 2 conferences maybe, and I know that a winner of Big 12 gets in, I get that, but you see what I'm saying. And then I live on the East Coast or the West Coast, and I never have a team in the playoffs, and so why do I watch that anymore? I don't care. There's no teams. I don't get to see anything. There's no equality amongst college football, and I turn the television off. Now we got a problem. It's a big picture. Like, I don't have enough time to go over all of it. I just gave you a short version of what I think should happen. Coach Brown at North Carolina, when he retires, Coach Saban, that's your football commissioner. That's Roger Goodell for us, in my opinion, because he knows what he's doing. He gets it. But in that situation, the reason that's being driven that way is because of money. So there is some thought based on the amount of money that's going to be spent, because we have no idea now, because she hasn't even gotten close to signing off on this agreement. And the plaintiffs, who are set to earn over $100 million, attorneys, haven't gotten close to signing an agreement. So that tells you, in my opinion, they're a long ways off. Most people that have the ability to earn hundreds of millions of dollars probably find a solution. So something's going on, okay? Those 2 conferences have more money than anybody based on television revenue. And money now for NIL can be funneled through the universities, correct? So when that happens, then there's going to be money funneled. 10 days ago, Georgia governor signed off and said the NCAA now has no legislation or no power over schools that are in the state of Georgia. If we want to pay our players through the school, we will pay our players through the school. Isn't that what he said?
Yep.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Means in Georgia they're going to do whatever they want, and the NCAA has no control. Sounds like the college football community has no control over it.
Well, they don't. Because in the United States of America, every state governs themselves. The federal government is not supposed to control state laws. Each state governs themselves. And so what they did is they stepped up and said, we're going to do what we want to do, and if we want to pay our players through our school and our money, we're going to pay our players. So that tells me that we're really close into heading that direction. It's already been started. There's schools that are doing it. But the point being, in the big picture of these meetings that you said, is that they're going to be the schools that are distributing the most revenue to players. So they feel like that they should compete against each other to a certain extent. And maybe that's true.
When you're done coaching, do you think that you'd ever want to get into, I guess, governing college football?
It'd be hard
like
to find me when I'm done coaching. It won't be watching football at a game or any of that, or being a college football commissioner, because that's just but now I will say this, for the sake of the game, we're in a real dangerous predicament right now. And I hope somebody like, I probably need to text Coach Saban before I say this, but I hope somebody like that becomes a college football commissioner, because he understands the importance of equality, in my opinion, because he's a smart man that's been in it for a long time. But that's what we need, and we need to get it, and get it as fast as we can. before we start to lose it and then try to recover back, a la NASCAR and LIV with PGA golf has become a mess because of that.